Am I the asshole for telling my stepdaughter she can have her dead dad pay for the wedding? She is 27 right now. I may have gone too far. My now wife divorced her ex when her 3 kids were young. He was an addict. She met me a few years later, and we dated for 2 years. Before she introduced me to her kids. 2 kids really hit it off, and Kelly did not like me. Just passive-aggressive stuff, but it became much worse when her dad passed away. She did not take it well, and resulted in a lot of outbursts. I wasn't living there at this time. She went into therapy, but overall didn't seem like it helped. She threatens to run away if I married their mom. So I stayed away, but continued to date their mom. Over time, the 2 other kids started to stay at my place in order to get away from the drama. It was a rough time for them, and we bonded even more. When Kelly was 18, the 2 of us decided to stop putting our life on hold and get married. Kelly hated this. The other kids were happy, though. Every interaction I have had with her has been unpleasant, and I don't not see her or one of my kids. I eventually adopted her siblings when they were 16 and 17. They asked me. During that time, she destroyed a lot of her siblings' stuff for betraying their dad. Now, I rarely see her, and I prefer it that way. The 2 kids have a on and off relationship. I paid for my 2 kids' wedding. I got a call from her asking me to pay for her wedding since I paid for the other 2. I told her no. This started an argument about how it's unfair. I had enough and told her to have her dad pay for the wedding. She hung up after some lovely names. I may have gone too far, which makes me a jerk. Yeah, it was a stupid, hurtful, and immature thing to say, but I get it. I understand this was the oldest girl and probably closest to her father, and of course, she probably resented the divorce, but that's something you should grow out of. Once her father died, you'd think it might have opened up her heart a little, but apparently that was not to be. And, so be it. It's her life. It's her choice. But it takes a lot of balls to then come skipping back and wanting you to pay for her wedding. I don't blame you for refusing, but I am curious as to what your wife thinks. A tiny YTA on the comment. A big not the asshole on not paying for the wedding. Yeah, it was petty. Thinking about it, it was resentment building up for how many times I just took her anger. It was like finally standing up to a bully. After so many years of taking it, it sure felt great to give it back, no matter how petty it was. You had the right to explode, but don't expect her to ever even attempt to maintain a relationship with you now. And don't be shocked if her mother loses a lot of contact, too. I'm gonna say not the asshole given the circumstances, but you implicated more people here than just yourself. I would love if she never talked to me again. With my wife, they already have a bad relationship, and they haven't talked in at all. So I doubt that will change anything. Everyone sucks here. Kelly obviously took it too far by practically forbidding her mom from moving on and for punishing her siblings for deciding to bond with you. But still, having a dead parent is something traumatic, and you bringing it up just to make a point in an argument is really low. Am I the asshole for using my husband's salary to make a point to his family after he told me I should stand up for myself instead of expecting him to do it for me? My husband and I are doing okay financially. We make enough to not worry about rent and necessities. We are saving a decent amount and have scope for growth in our careers. I make a little more than 1/3 of our combined income. We are both in our late 30s, and we have 2 6-year-old boys. I have never liked my husband's family, most of them anyways, because they have a lot of old-fashioned opinions and don't really approve of me. We don't have a lot of contact, so it's okay though. My husband's cousin's wedding is this week, and they are getting married in our city, so he offered for his parents and aunt and uncle to stay with us. Bride and groom are renting a place. It is a bit of squeeze, but it is working. They have been here for 2 days now, and on the first day I heard them having a whole discussion on how it's so sad that out children won't get to have a proper childhood with a mom at home, like my husband and his cousin got, while they were in the living room and I was in the kitchen. And they knew I could hear. I was stewing, but I don't really like confrontation, so I didn't say anything. Later, I asked my husband if he could please tell them to shut up with the snide comments about me. He said that's just their opinion, and it's not really hurting me. If I'm bothered, I should learn to stick up for myself, and that he can't always do it for me. This sort of struck a nerve because it's true that I usually ask him to do small things like telling the drive-through person if our order is wrong, because it just makes me feel weird and guilty. But somehow, it feels like more his responsibility because it's his family involved here. Anyways, so today my father-in-law made one more pointed comment during dinner, and I said, "Your son makes sx. We live in a big city and rent is XXX. We literally cannot live on his salary, so so I don't know why you think I should be home all day." They were pretty quiet after that. Now, my husband is really angry with me because I put him down in front of his family who are all richer than us and will look down on him. Am I the asshole? Definitely not the asshole. Your husband and in-laws, however. Common sense dictates that if your family has a problem with your spouse, you have their back. Still, I think you handled things perfectly, given the fact that your husband is a textbook, and doesn't defend you when he should. He doesn't get to be mad for the way you chose to do what he said. You just took his advice. Also, is he a teenager? Why is he so pressed about his family knowing such trivial things as your rent and general income? If he didn't want you to say those things, he should have had your back, I guess. It's perfectly fine for his spouse to be shamed by his family in their own home. But when he's up on the chopping block, it's now a problem. Not the asshole, but your husband and his family sure are. He didn't want to handle it and seemed perfect content for them to drag you in your own home and told you to deal with it or handle it yourself. He's currently experiencing FAFO. He deserves to feel as uncomfortable around his family as he's been okay with you feeling all of these years. And as far as the Sam thing, even if it were affordable for most people, which isn't the case, it's not the best choice for everyone. I'm a Sam and my sister isn't. Both of us have great kids. Some people are better moms because they work, and there's nothing wrong with that. And most people have to either work or sacrifice a lot, like my family has, in order to make that work. If hubby didn't want them to know the truth, then he should have shut them down. And if they have that much money, they can find a hotel instead of leeching off of you guys and insulting you in your own home. Apparently, money doesn't buy class in this instance. Not the asshole. Your husband wants you to stand up for yourself, and you did. You are not staying at home in part because their son does not earn enough for you to stay at home. It's telling that your husband did not mind when you were being put down, but is now angry because his family will look down on him. I wonder how he justifies the double standard. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.